Hello once again, and thank you ever so much for joining me. This is JT Tebeha. The best of you is where it's at, and we are Focus Media as a powered. So today I'm very much excited because I have a very special, very unique, very talented, passionate, and dynamic young lady. By the time we are done here, you are supposed to be much better in terms of where you want to go and very clear with regards to where you want to end up in life. But before we go there, City of Light Private High School now open for registration and administration for the year 2022. For more information, please make use of the numbers that appear now on your screen. And whilst we are there, I'm very much excited to present to you Bataung Academy for television and radio presenting course. Very practical. We're bringing it down here in East London, the very 1st of September. The very first class will be starting. For some more information, numbers on the screen. Contact me directly. You can actually DM me and I'll explain it to you as to what is happening. But for now, the moment is for none other than Mrs. Viwe Kwekwana Mahlangabeza. Who is Viwe? What makes Viwe tick? What kind of person is Viwe?
Okay, Viwe. I'm Viwe M from Mtanzania. Only child raised by a single mother. Well, I'm a very outgoing person. I like people. It's funny because when I was growing up, I was very reserved. Okay. But somehow I would always attract crowds. I was always around a group of friends of many people, and I didn't understand why, because Nanje, I was just like, I don't want to talk, I don't want to do stuff, but somehow my friends would always be there around me, and they would be like, yeah. And so that's my personality. I grew to understand that maybe there's something in that. There's something in me drawing so many people around me, and I've found spaces where I can actually be myself, be comfortable, and have people welcome me the way they see me. Because obviously then I would see myself another way, and people would be just like, come, we want to have you around. So that's basically how I am. I'm an IT graduate.
All right.
Yes, I did IT, and I worked in the field for like 5 years before I ventured into business. Right. And yeah,
which is something that is very interesting. You were in IT. You are an IT graduate.
Yeah.
And you ventured into business. Is that business IT?
No, not at all, actually.
It's not?
Not at all.
Okay, where's the breakup?
The breakup, I'm assuming that I did IT because I wanted to have something. And I just thought computers over people, because I was, like I said, I was a very reserved person.
All right.
And so it's better that I talk to a computer than I talk to people.
Okay.
And
so it was more of your personality matching the career that you want to take, where you're actually going to be feeling more comfortable.
Yes, I wanted to be comfortable in that. And I practiced. It was all good until I had to leave my job. And now I was already in a space where I was friends with someone that was singing.
Oh, yeah?
A friend of mine was an artist, gospel artist. She didn't really believe herself to be a gospel artist, and as a friend I was like, no man, you've got this. And someone that spoke to me recently said, what I liked about you when I first saw you with the first person you worked with in artist management, you believed in them more than they believed in themselves.
All right.
And that, like, this person said this, that was I liked about you, and I thought this girl has something and she's gonna go somewhere. Back then it was not even a career or something that I thought I would do permanently. I was just there for a friend. And from there I was into events management. We did a couple of annual events around East London, and I kind of made a name for myself. I saw, hey, this thing it's in me.
Right.
Somehow it just grew in me, and I loved it. Grew so much passion for it, so much that I was like, when I didn't have something to do and on a permanent job, I was like, okay, let me do this. Another friend of mine asked me again, Is it because you have time to yourself, or is it because now you love it? And I was like, that's a good question that I had to stop and ask myself.
You never thought about it before?
Yeah, I've never thought about it before, and I was like, maybe I need to ask myself this. And I said, okay, well, I don't want to give you the right answer. For now, I have the time, and so why not? But the way I am growing to love it, I might take it up for another year, another 2 years, so much that I won't have to go back to a job, because back then I was still on that thing. Like, I need to maybe go back to a corporate and. But I was like, okay, I will keep doing it. I won't, even if I get another job, I will keep doing it so much that I don't have to go back to a job, because the love now is growing in me. So that's what I've been doing. And now I started a branding. When I opened my company, I opened it for branding purposes, because in artist management and in events, I saw that there is a gap, because when you manage someone, or when you do events, you need to market, you need to brand. I mean, your artist needs to be their brand. They need printed stuff, they need logos, they need something, they need some presence, they need social media presence. So I found myself doing some graphics for these people, because we didn't have the money to pay. I went back, did some graphics. So
more like you went and used what you have at that particular time, without waiting for perfect and big time corporate printers that are going to do stuff for you. You actually went to whatever little that you had and made the most of it.
Yeah, so I went back and did all of those things with my hands, with myself, for myself. And that's how now when I registered my own company, that was what I was doing. I was branding. I was doing printing, and I was still a bit, not so long after I had lost my job. So I was waiting for my monies to come out, kind of vibe. And I didn't know what I'm going to do with them. But as time went by, now I'm doing all of these branding things out of my own time. I'm doing graphics. So I think it was like 3-4 months before I got my monies from work. And it was perfect timing, because I think if they had come when they released me, I would have used them for something else.
You'd have blown it.
Yeah.
I blew it.
I would have used them for something else. But when they came 3 months later, now I was able to say, okay, what do you need to maximize the skills that you have? Because obviously, by the look of things, umsebenzi is going to be a lack of thing. Employment is becoming scarce by the day.
Most definitely.
So you need to make something for yourself. What is it? So by that time, I was thinking, and I knew, okay, this is what I need. This is what I need. This is what I need. So when I got that money, I went and bought vinyl machines.
All right.
I went and bought vinyl machine, new laptop, heat press, printer.
Wow.
And I had at least those small start-up things for myself. And then I literally, even that, I taught myself.
You literally remind me of myself.
Okay.
When I started into these things, and it's so scary. It's like I'm listening to
your own
the
story.
other version of myself, just telling it from a different type, even though I was coming from a different, discipline, which is law.
Okay.
But for me to break from that and say, in the meantime, whilst I wait, what do I do? And my mind went straight to, if I can get a computer and a printer, I can start something. I started to do people's CVs and whatnot, so that I can, and everything grew into it. But here's something that's of interest for me. It seems like everything that you did, you actually grew into it, because after the job ended, you did the only thing that came natural to you was you spotted a good thing, you spotted talent, and you figured, let me do this for this person. It wasn't even about yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something that is amazing.
Totally not.
I remember one of the times I went on radio with my daughter, Tato, and she was asked a question about what what advice maybe she may have for other people in terms of as youth entrepreneur, talk type of a thing.
Yeah.
And the thing that she said, I don't know if a lot of people do realize that this is not a cliche.
Okay.
That find something that you love, do it, and get someone else to pay you for it.
Wow.
And it seems like what you did, you grew into it. It was just your passion, and that's what makes it easy. Because I can imagine branding, marketing, and all this kind of thing. It's not really that easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking outside and I'm thinking, ooh, nice poster. Ooh, nice this, nice that. It takes a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of background work.
Yeah.
When people come, we see the finished end. We see an artist that is well advertised, an artist that has nice pictures and stuff like that. Now, what goes into your kind of work currently in terms of, or even let's study properly. Break it down for us.
Okay.
Viwe M Consulting.
Okay.
What is it that you are doing in this bracket called Viwe M Consulting?
Okay. Artist management, events management, and branding. I call this brand maximizing. So
All right.
that was like a word that came and it was new to my mind.
All right.
But it was just like everything that I do, it needs to be bigger.
Yes.
When I touch it, it needs to be bigger. So I said, okay, the branding side will be brand maximizing. So if you come with even a small idea, I will try to make it.
And it makes sense because that's what branding is about.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said to people that it doesn't matter how good whatever you have is. In fact, businesses spend money and make sure that they have people specifically to package and brand them well, because that leg of the company is more important than even the sales department.
Yeah.
Because it is how you actually put yourself across, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
People are not going to know.
Yeah.
And even if they know you, if you appear there and you are appearing like you are apologetic in your
not
imaging,
sure
they're
about
really not going to be
this.
sure whether they want to
Yeah.
buy it or not. But if you can do so much of a good job of branding, you actually can sell ice cream to an Eskimo, So
Yeah.
now tell us more about this thing called branding. How important is branding to whether it's an artist, whether it's a budding entrepreneur? How important is that?
It's very important. I've learned that without branding, like you have said, people will not notice you. You could have the most excellent skill, but if you are not branded, people don't know, and people would not come to you.
If people don't know, they
Then-
won't come to buy.
Yeah.
If they don't come to buy your skill or your talent or whatever it is that you're doing, then you won't monetize.
Yeah, so that's how much branding is. It's what you sell to people needs to be visible. It needs to have a touch and feel. That's what branding is. It's touch and feel of the skill that you have.
Basically justifying why should people go for you as opposed to XYZ.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we are all, running for the same thing. If you are an artist, a recorded artist, you're not the only one.
Yeah,
There's
there
a
are
whole lot of them behind you and in front of you and around you, and you need to stick out like a sore thumb, which reminds me of an ad that we're going to go to right now.
All right.
Have you ever wondered why big and successful brands continue to pump millions and millions in their marketing and advertising campaigns? Well, there's a very simple and logical explanation for that. You see, every business exists to make profit, but you cannot talk about profits unless you have sales to show for it. You see, the more the number of people who know about your brand, the better the chances of increased sales and therefore better profit margins. What this means is 1% of every 100 people that know about your product equals 1 sale. But the same 1% for 10,000 people who know about your brand equals to 100 sales. But you see, with the presence of competition that is looking at the same market that you are targeting, you need to stick out like a sore thumb. And that's where Focus Media SA comes in. Now, if you want to increase your sales and therefore make your business stand out, Focus Media SA will attach wings to your brand. Call us now on 083-624-0123. That makes business sense.
I pray for my holy self
Well, welcome to it. This is Best of You with me, JT Focus Media SA, powering it all up, and I'm sitting with none other than Miss Viwe from Viwe Consulting, and we're talking about the importance of branding. What is the impact of the kind of work that you do? Because as someone will be thinking, I know what I can do, and I'm very good at what I do. I'm a good artist, maybe, or I have a good product, which people are going to love. So that will sell itself. That will sell all by itself. What is the importance of having a person that is responsible for managing the brand?
The reason why people need to look at certain professionals to look at their brandings and marketing is because now from an experience of working with artists, I know they have the skill to play, to sing, but they don't really have the skill to put themselves out. So they definitely need someone to do their PR and their marketing. And that is why one can't just rely on, I can sing. Yes, you can, but who is going to take you out there? Who is going to brand you and make sure that you reach the audience that you're supposed to reach? So that is why it's important for everyone who has any idea or any business to look at people that are qualified, or rather have the drive and passion for what they need. Yeah.
Some of the projects that you have done locally and the impact of what your business is about has actually had on those.
Okay, I deal with different individuals, clients on the printing side, so I can't actually name a lot because they come and go. But for me, lasting relationships, they have been more on the artist management and events management, because I would do events for the same artists, and that's how the relationship will then last, and I can point out some of my successes and things that I have outdone to make sure that the event is a success. Before the whole COVID thing, I think 2019, I worked with Uloye Somajeng on his Praise Risen.
Ginger.
Yes, Ginger, yeah. His Praise Risen show, which was in East London, Miriam Makeba. Now, going into 2020 events, it was difficult to do anything. But luckily for me, I was found actually by a good sister of mine up in Cape Town. Just before, I think, mid-2019, Mrs. Nusi came to me and said, "Hey man, this is what I have. I've been singing for all of these years." She couldn't say it herself, but she is like a good musician. And I need someone to work with that will take me to where I think I'm supposed to be. I think that person is no other than you.
Awesome.
I'm down here in East London. She's in Cape Town. An opportunity came for her to record an EP in studio.
All right.
We did that. It came out in February 2020.
Awesome.
And as we were planning to do the launch for that EP, COVID hit. And we're like, okay, we're just relying on streams, online downloads for us to make something out of that project. And time went by, and we were all in this depression stage of COVID and anxieties and loss of everything. But in September 2020, we're like, okay, let's do a virtual concert as an EP launch.
Right.
I put things together, got figures up in Cape Town of how we can do this. The time I'm saying to her, we're doing this, I didn't have a cent. And I was just like, look, this is how we're going to do it virtually. I made it very easy. I talked to these guys that are going to put together production, cameras, what. They give me all the figures on how much it will cost to put everything together. We went for it. And before that, I didn't have a single cent, but I said, we will do this virtual concert. We will get this production, this stage and lights and cameras, everything as is. at this amount, even though we didn't have the money initially. So it went through. So now, the virtual concert, people were buying tickets from online, and that's where we made our revenue. They watched it. We had no audience, but we had all the cameras, about 4 cameras, nice stage, nice lighting and production, and so we had all the content that was recorded from that, which we are now busy going back and forth in studio, trying to fix everything to bring out the full album, Ka Healing in the Melody by Sis Nosi. And at my surprise, when the people watched that virtual, calls were coming in, inquiries, how much was this, how did you do this, V? And remember, it's during lockdown, a lot of musicians are not making money, and it's just a lot of havoc in terms of finances on that side. But we were able to make that, and we have the content now, which will soon come out. And again, as I said, it, if my career would end, when that album comes out, then it can.
Now, let's talk about this thing that I find also very important, and that is the fact that now we're living in very interesting times, and that's my euphemism right there. COVID-19 has definitely now, really thrown the spanner in the works. Already your work is coming with a lot of challenges, as it were, but with the lockdowns and everything, surely there must have been some impact on the work that you do, and even on the business front of things, the profit margins and everything.
Now the impact of COVID-19. On one side, I'd like to say, for me, it helped me. I wouldn't have been able to know the strength and the drive I have to keep my business afloat in these difficult times, because a lot of even big businesses closed down during this time. But because I had the strength, I know that there's somewhere that I'm still going. COVID-19 taught me that just keep it focused. Keep your strength, go for it, no matter how difficult it is at this time. And something that we don't really talk about when we even sit in these interviews is the dark side of business, as it is. COVID-19 aside, the dark side of being a start-up business, there's a lot of challenges. One can easily give up in the early stages.
Now, for people who are interested in finding out some more about you and what you're doing, how can they get hold of you?
Okay, I am available on all socials. Find me on Facebook, Viwe M. Gwekwana, that's my personal account, Viwe M Consulting, the business page. On Instagram, Viwe M, on Twitter at Viwe M_consulting. And if you go to those platforms and you really need to get hold of me, you'll find my contact numbers there. My email address is there, and you can get in touch and let's see where we take it.
One thing that I can tell you for sure is that there's quite a lot of people that need you around and the services that you're providing, but most importantly, the kind of challenge that you actually throwing out there, and which is something that really attracted me towards you, and that is to see this fire and this passion that you have and this drive that you have, not only for the success of the business, but to see yourself making an impact in someone's life and thereby turning it into a business. And it's a kind of mentality and attitude that I think South Africa and South African youth in particular need to actually begin to coin up and run with. Thank you ever so much. There's so many things that we are expecting from you as the South Africans, and surely the international platforms are waiting for the likes of you. And like I said, that if we don't take care of our very own, and if we do not, acknowledge and really make use of our own, hey, there's always somewhere out there, someone is going to be actually seeing value and the gold that we are actually having and actually ignoring. V, thank you ever so much for gracing us and coming over. We appreciate you very much. And I would
also like to take this opportunity to thank you for inviting me, having me here, and having this heart-to-heart. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, Well, indeed, the pleasure is all mine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you ever so much for joining us. There you have it. That is Mrs. Viwe Kwekwana Mahlangabeza, a dynamite indeed that comes with a lot of power. And remember, like I always say, the best that you can ever be is yourself. So do you be you and be the best that you can be. This is JT signing out, and this is Best of You, powered by Focus Media SA.